tomorrow. I'm flying to India tomorrow.
Huh?
Yes, my mother is very sick.
Oh.
She is only 90 years old.
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry to hear this.
She started, her organs shut down already started.
Wow.
Her liver is almost like failing, and I think it's almost like 90%. It's not working now. So because of that, she has problem, ascites, and accumulation of the fluid in the stomach. She has already almost like 5 liters of water, and that is crushing her lungs, her breathing problems. Then she started, not eat because anything it is not digested because of the liver failing. So she, whenever eats, throws out, and then the spleen is affected, kidneys slowly affected. So like that all together. So they told me that if you want to see mother conscious, it can happen. The ammonia content could be raised to a higher level that can affect the brain, and she can easily go affect the brain. So families, they asked me, if you want to see mother conscious and talking. And she also, when I talked to her, why don't you come? You may not be able to see me when you come next time. So I thought going there for 2 weeks. I'm not sure, whether, of course, whether she's going to die or not, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's sure she won't make for Christmas. That's sure.
You keep her and you in our first one.
Yeah.
Recorder voice. Recorder voice.
That's okay.
For later.
Yeah. And then, not now, she doesn't speak that much, just speak a little bit. Then she is 90 years old, had a good life. So there is nothing, for mourn. I mean, humanly speaking, of course, when mother goes, we mourn. But I am so happy that she lived that much. And if she dies, when I am there, I will be very happy.
Yeah.
And that means, happiness of having death.
It's transition.
It's a transition. To live like, this, with all these respiratory problems, it's really hard. I'm leaving this Sunday. Sunday is very, very busy for me, but, there's here, on Wednesday, a procedure is going to, make. That means they are going to take out the water. That will really give her comfort, respiratory comfort. Yeah. But it has a risk also. That means some people can drop drastically the pressure, blood pressure, and then if that happens, then she will come back. So that's why I'm leaving on Sunday. I will be there in Indian time Tuesday. That means night.
You'll not ride on Tuesday.
Yeah.
This Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, pick it up later. What time are you leaving Sunday?
Sunday I have mass at 8:30 in my church.
In the morning?
In the morning. My church, in Edinburgh, 8:30 mass. That finishes at almost like 10 o'clock. Then we have a small church had a gym, small gym. So there was fallen down, and not when we bought, when that church before years back that fallen down. Then we did not construct it. Now we are planning to construct 5,000 square feet gym. So tomorrow we do the groundbreaking after the mass. It's exactly not a groundbreaking, but it's only an extension of what it had, But still, I make it an event. Why, because people know that and then contribute. The groundbreaking program's idea is that, no? We make it a big, an event, and so that, people have an awareness that we have to contribute.
What time is your flight, Father?
And I tried to drive from here at 10:30 morning to Houston, and then 8 o'clock evening the flight. Yeah.
Are we invited to that groundbreaking? Are we invited to that groundbreaking?
There is nothing special, just if you are interested, of course, I don't make you take that much trouble. There is nothing special, we just do that.
What's the groundbreaking
For a gym.
at the parish?
The parish. And that's not like a 5 million project of the Holy Spirit. Is 5 million or 8 million?
When you're talking about
The renewal center.
the tunnel?
Eh?
The tunnel?
Yeah.
I don't know, because they're going to do just
Section 1.
section 1.
A little at a time.
Yeah, that's the same thing what we are going to do too. Section 1. Yeah. That means we had, we have already the concrete and things, for I think almost like 2,500.
On the slab.
Not all. 2,500, something like that. We have. Then we make 2,500 more to make it 5,000. Then put the concrete, not concrete, the metal pillars.
Okay.
Then cover it with the roof.
The columns.
The columns, and cover it with the roof, and then cover the side. Then make it a gym and play without air condition, without any other, electrical, or without any plumbing and all those things. Nothing. Just a structure, so that we can play inside. For the kids and all the young,
The purpose of playing is to sweat. You're going to sweat.
Yeah, we are going to.
Without air conditioning.
But no. But on the top of the two sides it's open, so it's air passing. The whole area is free, so air will be passed, and that could be used also for our community social gatherings and things like that.
You
So
don't have to eat rice out in the rain? We can go inside?
that rain will not help. Rain will not affect us, because only two sides. The rain comes only this way, and that's covered. When it comes this way, it's a problem. The rain will not come this way.
What rain, brother?
Sometimes what rain. It'll come the other way.
Okay, we'll keep your moment of prayer.
Yeah, please. And I ask you to pray for her not to live longer, to die when I am there. Yes.
Exactly.
Then, otherwise, if I am there, and then I left anymore, and after 2 weeks I am here, after 1 week she dies, then I am in a very difficult situation, to fly back again to India. That is going to kill me. So, either to die within 2 weeks, or at least after 2 months.
Get better, right?
Yeah.
At this point, the longer is the worse for her. Because
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. I would, rather. So Joe asked me how long this flight could be. Yeah, flight from Houston to, I'm flying to Middle East. That is 14 hours, 30 minutes long, non-stop.
Wow.
One flight.
Where in the Middle East?
From in Doha, that is Qatar. Yeah, nearby Dubai.
You're not flying over the Ukraine, are you?
No.
It's a direct flight all the way to India.
No. So I'm flying from Houston to Qatar, 14 hours, 30 minutes, that is, or 15 hours altogether, non-stop. 2 hours change of plane in Qatar, then again 5 hours more to India. Then I am there in my city. When I come back, from there to Qatar, then to Dallas, then to McAllen. Then I come back.
The flight takes you straight to the city where you go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Will you see Mario Joseph there?
A flight like that, it kind of goes, you sit down, you have a drink, and then a meal, and then a movie, and then a drink, and then another meal, and then 2 more movies, and then you still have 12 hours to go.
Yes. But I'm already used to that because, when I came, I fly like that, Yeah. There's a little longer flight, no? Okay, now let's go for the No, look.
That's just, don't worry about that.
Okay?
They're looking at that behind me.
We were looking at that.
Ah.
That was only a backup. That was a backup if you didn't come.
So we were last time, talking about our, the marriage ceremony in Jewish culture. That's very nice, to know something about it, because I'm just making you refresh your minds last weeks how it was celebrated, because at least to understand the first part of it, that is, Mary was betrothed to Joseph, and actually the marriage contract was already not signed, but that was made in betrothal. Marriage was just a celebration. Marriage was just a celebration, not like us. For us, of course, marriage is by the contract and sacrament, all its marriage, the ceremony. And just I am asking for curiosity, in the marriage ceremony, what is the most important act in you all married?
The vow.
Witnessing.
Witnessing? Wow.
The marriage vows.
Eh?
The marriage vows.
The rings. So how many acts are there in our marriage? So, the acts in marriage ceremony.
The exchanging of the vows.
Exchanging of vows, exchanging of rings, then
As a sign of the vow.
Gifts.
then the marriage witness and the blessing of the priest, no?
The blessing.
So, it is by the exchange of vows the marriage is completed. Now, and the exchange of rings, it's only an external sign, symbol that they are married, and just immediately that is, even if that is not done, the marriage is valid. And then the blessing of the priest. Yeah. That is Sri Ramalabha rite, we have at least 4 symbols like that. The first one is the exchange of vows. As a symbol of that, there is the exchange of rings. Then there is a custom in my place. There is the what's called the man tie a cord to the neck of the wife. 3.
Not to hang, Father. Not to hang.
And then there is a sari will be placed on her.
A veil, yeah.
A veil will be placed on her head. 4. Then both of them will take an oath, placing their hands on Bible, that they will live until death together. making a vow of,
Until they change
touching.
their mind.
So that is the fifth one. And at last, after that, there is the blessing of the priest, and with that, marriage is, finished.
There's one more, Father, the
Sorry.
Aras, the treasure,
Yeah,
like coins.
yeah, we don't give that, in our prayer. That's Philippine, yeah. So all these things, do you have also all these things? Yes. Very good. See, more symbols.
Except they put the rope around both of us.
It's a rosary.
It's like a rosary, a big one, so you put it on her,
The
the male and the female.
oh.
Because the rosary is
Okay, so beautiful it is. So there are so many, this all made up with customs and traditions of the locality. Yeah, most of them. Yeah. And this is because, on the wedding of Cana, we see Jesus was present. It's almost like the wedding ceremony is almost like a 1 week's, celebration. And that was a really very, very big celebration, 1 week. That's why all the people, they say, okay, usually people take the good wine first, and then when they are all drunk, they serve the bad wines, no? Because 7 days, almost like giving wines, that was.
How would they celebrate the whole week, Father? Would they stay there, or they go home and come back, or do you know?
So that's all. I think people, the most very, very intimate friends and family members may stay. Others will come and go. That's all in a different way. For example, here also some, after for the ceremony, the bride and bridegroom, they all together invite their own friends. There is one celebration, no? Then there is very family member celebration. Then there is the what's called the just before the marriage.
Bachelor party?
Yeah, no, that was the bachelor party, they do.
The rehearsal.
The rehearsal party. So 3, and the marriage ceremony. At least there are 4-day celebration is here, no?
And then, you know what a tornaboda is?
Yeah.
After the party, the closer family go usually to one of the members of the family, and they have a reunion that lasts until early.
Yeah, when we say that it lasts long for about 1 week, means we do almost the same almost. We don't see that 1 week, but in an event like 1 week party doesn't mean they all stay the whole day, no event, no, like.
The closest thing I know to that, where I grew up, was I was always told, if you ever get invited to a Polish wedding reception, go. A friend of mine went. 3 days later, when he woke up in a strange place, he was still in his tuxedo.
So that much, and Jesus was, in order to understand better that situation. Okay. Now, Mary's, that is the chapter 1. We have already, did we see Mary's visit to Elizabeth? No. I think it was the wedding ceremony, and then why we were talking about Mary, why perpetual virginity and all those things last time. Okay. And then now, see,
We already talked about John the Baptist.
All those things. Now Mary visits Elizabeth, that is 39 onward. Okay? 39 onward. Luke first. Chapter 1. Chapter 1, 39. Mary visits Elizabeth. That is very here. Why Elizabeth? They are related. They are relatives. Elizabeth and Mary. So John the Baptist. Most probably, what kind of relationship we are not that much not sure. It's not clear from the Bible, but I think they are related by their parents. The Elizabeth could be a sister of the mother of Mary. Yeah. And she was very old. We know that. Mary's Elizabeth was very old. Could be. We don't know exactly.
Well, the Bible says that Zechariah and...
Yeah, only related, yeah. They are very old, and then anyway, one is clear, they are related. That's why. And there were also other relatives, and they had children. That's why Mary's parents, or cousins, they were all called in Bible brothers and sisters. See, according to understanding, Mary conceived and delivered only one child, Mary, that's Jesus, and no one else. But the Gospels, give some information that, is Jesus the carpenter's son? His brothers and sisters are among us. So brothers and sisters. So here the problem, some of them, those who want to interpret it, as brothers and sisters, direct brothers and sisters. Some of them interpret like that. That means Mary had other sons and daughters. But according to tradition, the whole tradition of that church, Mary was always believed that she bore only one child. That was Jesus. Never had a second one. But so that's why. Then why there's a brothers and sisters reference? It could be cousins or the relatives. We also call. We have that custom, same custom, no? We all call, yeah.
We also, Luke is written in Greek.
Yeah.
And so the original version of Luke is actually a Greek translation of Aramaic. Right?
No. The Luke was directly
of Aramaic speech.
Yeah. That is Luke originally wrote in Greek. Only that translation would be said about Matthew. Matthew's original could be an Aramaic version that was later translated. And that's why I think when we spoke about Matthew's Gospel, the author of the first Gospel need not be this Gospel, the Greek's original Gospel need not be Matthew.
No, but what I was saying, even though he originally wrote it in Greek, he's describing conversations that were in
all those in Aramaic.
Okay,
that was
so it's already a translation.
Yeah, but not only that. I think in every culture, the cousins or our people are, we call them brothers and sisters, no? Yeah.
Only in Appalachia here.
And in my place, it is just, we call everyone brothers and sisters. We have, when somebody, there is no difference in calling. For example, my own older brother, I call, that is, the word we call it cheta. That means my older brother. And I call the same word even with a stranger who is older to me. I'll call him cheta. There is no way to distinguish between a stranger older to me and my own older brother by just using the word cheta. Only it is understood by relationship. That's all.
For example, think of our Acts. We go to Acts, and now we call our fellow retreatants Acts brothers.
Yeah, Acts brothers.
Acts sisters. I ain't related to none of those dudes except spiritually.
So all these could be. So, and this is a kind of a Semitic. This is a kind of a Semitic understanding. Always call the older people brothers. I think it is a Semitic practice. Call the older people brothers and sisters. And of course the cousins all. And they have a much more, very, very what's called tight relationship, family relationship too. That's very, you just imagine, I did not know that, and when I began to attend the class in the what's called the chaplaincy, they say, just imagine if you take the relationship and what's called the emotional relationship in an Anglo family and in a Spanish family, there are so much of difference. For example, I see that in the hospital situation, if somebody is very sick, if it is an Anglo, maybe if man is sick, his wife, maybe children, that's all. That means almost like 2 people. If that man is very sick, if it is a Spanish family, there could be sometimes 50 people there.
Family and friends. And their friends.
And about crying, there is nothing to say. If it is an Anglo, they say, yes, Father, yes. If it is Spanish, oh, Father, oh. Then comes, oh, Father. Then many times, that's good. And then interesting. And then,
We're emotional.
yeah, and then, then they will talk to Father, and then suddenly they burst out again crying. It could be many times they cry and cry,
Father, back in the early 20s and 30s, when somebody would die in Mexico, they were called las lloronas. In the procession of when the funeral, they would actually pay. That was a job. You would pay some woman that would go in the front, crying and oh my God. That was part of the whole thing. I remember when I was very small. We had, about a block away, we had somebody who died in the family. I remember hearing overnight the mother crying, but yelling, and you can hear that person expressing the feeling of her son dead very loud and very openly. Everybody, it's like, why? People... Nowadays, people keep that more to themselves.
But what we learn, if you want to cry, you cry.
It's good for you.
Yeah, good for you. And that is Semitic. In Bible, you see, the same situation is narrated in Bible. When that Jairus' daughter, Jairus' daughter, died. And Jesus, there were people wailing, and these people were paid, these people were what we call the paid wailers, but I would say. They were kind of a job. They were just wailing. And then the people were there. That is described in the Bible. Anyway, that's something different from, what is from the Bible. But I learned one thing very clearly, one thing about, in my class, it came to me as a kind of a revelation. And I believe it now. I used to understand or, take crying, or I don't say cry, tears, sign of weakness, no? That means when you cry, people take or understand, at least I think, he is not able to, control his emotions. He is, weak. He is crying, crying. And we have a feeling that, that much of crying is a part of the woman thing, no? And
men don't do that.
Men don't do that, no?
Don't eat peach either.
John Baker.
So, that is called machismo, no? Yes. But during the studies, my supervisor gave me a small, it's not knowingly, each one, was given a small piece of thing, just written. What I got is tears are not signs of weakness, but signs of strength. It's true. If I shed some tears on someone's death, that means because of my love, the strength of love that is pouring out through tears. If I don't have love, why should I do that? I don't do that, no? If I see a child, even if I am not related, a child dying, if I shed tears, and that means I have at least a love for humanity. That's why I am shedding, because it is because of the strength of love that is brought through tears. So tears are not signs of weakness, but signs of strength. That totally changed that little piece of paper totally changed my outlook.
It shows that you have a heart.
That means, surely. That's after all, if somebody cries, it is because that man loves. If somebody is there and crying for the death of his wife, that means because he loves her that much. That doesn't mean, if somebody doesn't cry and he doesn't love, no. But only crying, if not pretending, but usually all those people who are in deep love usually cry, or shed tears. Therefore, tears are signs of strength. I just give a wisdom part, that's all. So that's the same thing. Mary visiting Elizabeth, she goes to visit Elizabeth, her aunt, and then remain there she was already 6 months pregnant, and Mary went there and remained there 3 months. That means, what is the meaning of it?
Till the baby was born.
Till the baby was born. And she took care of her in the last 3 months or the last days, and then she nursed her even after the birth of John the Baptist. She nursed her, then returned. And that was also a custom in Semitic world, that people go and take care of. In my place, the custom is that a girl got pregnant, she goes to her own family in the 7th month.
You spend the last your birthday.
She will be taken to her own family, and she will be nursed by her own mother and family members. Her own. They will be taken care of. And that is, and I think that girl is much more free and what's called, comfortable, I think, in her own family where she was grown up, and where she was nursed by her own mother. And that is the way what we do. In the 7th month of her, she will be taken as even that is, a little celebration. People come from the family of the girl and then they will take her to their own family. And then after the birth, it's almost like they stay there about 1 or 2 months more. And then with the baptism, after the baptism, she will be taken back to the husband's family. It's almost like 5-6 months business, in their own family, in a girl's family.
Well, when the girls get pregnant every year, half of their life.
But that is done at least, the first one, second one, third one. After that, there are so many, after other girls are there, if there are more, then they may take care of in their own family. So at least the first one is an imperative. Second one, half. The third one, then half. The fourth one, then the mother's family will look like this, okay, are you going to come every year?
Or will you say, stop getting pregnant?
So I was born in my own family because I am the sixth one. Okay. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I hear somebody a week ago refer to John the Baptist as the master of the teacher of Jesus. I didn't mention anything, but there is no such a reference.
no, there is no such a reference there. It could be like this, both of them, and there is no possibility for that mostly because they are only, difference in their age 6 months. That's all.
And they were okay. But now the infancy of Jesus was the very, very beginning was in Egypt. At what age did Jesus came back? Do we know? Do we have an idea?
Yeah, that is, I think, it's about when Archelaus died. It was, I think, by date-wise, we can calculate. It's almost like I think they remain there 3 years, something like that. I think I'm not sure. We have to calculate because when they came back to Nazareth, came back to Galilee, they heard that Archelaus was the king, and they feared and they went to Nazareth. That's why he was called Nazarene.
So when Jesus got lost in found in the temple, he was about 12 years old.
Yeah, that's 12 years old.
Okay, and then we don't know anything else. But was there any possibility that they grew up, as cousins?
They are together, they were in the same, almost like, that was very, very clear, that was almost in the same village.
Yeah.
The same village, not neighbors, that was a little far away, but they grew up together. And most probably, these are all, hypotheses, most probably, both of them attended in the same school of the Essenes.
But
Yeah.
was when Jesus came to John to get baptized, John recognized who he really was, because he told him, says, do you want me to baptize you? You should be baptizing me. He recognized who he was, not as a relative, but who he was.
Yeah, that's all in the Bible,
Yes.
Yeah, and that is the Bible. That story or that historical event is narrated as a part of faith. As a part of faith, not as a historical narrative. No, exactly.
Later on, when John he told a couple of his disciples, "Here comes the Lamb of God."
Yeah.
But then he also sent his disciples to ask Jesus, "Are you the one?" Now, when Jesus tells us, "Don't judge for what I say, judge for what you see," was that a doubt from John that who he really was?
This is, when you say that's a comparative study we have to do. But first of all, the Lamb of God who takes away, that is from the John's Gospel. It's narrated in the Gospel of John and nowhere else. Only. And the other thing is narrated in the Synoptic Gospels. That means Jesus, John sent the disciples to, that is in the Synoptic Gospels, not in the John's Gospel. So they were basing in different resources. These both of the acts were based on different resources, and therefore we have to have a comparative study about it. So I did not do that now for the time being, and I'm not sure about it. Of course, this is what we can see by way of faith and spiritual way of thinking it. What John says, in the Gospel of John, that is a part of a revelation. Yeah, it's a part of a revelation that John cannot understand without the what's called basis of faith that Jesus is the Messiah, the Lamb of God. It's a complete, clear part of a revelation. But the other thing, that's a human historical inquiry. Are you really the Messiah? So that's a difference. Human way of, yeah.
It is also important to know that the God's revelation is closed until until the death of the last apostle.
Yeah.
So no more other revelation of God.
No, that for what, so what's the relation with, what you are speaking, what you are trying to see? Yeah, these are, here is, John the Baptist was asking, his own disciples to go to Jesus and inquire him, whether are you the one? And that's also a part of faith, in the sense that was in which a historical situation was created. That means, in order to say that I am the one who is sent by God. So, that is the gospel narrative. So, in which saying, the historical situation is, is taken as a part of a circumstance by which a faith element is revealed. That is, John asking, are you the one? And Jesus proclaiming that I am the Messiah.
They want to set up.
Yeah. So that historical circumstance is created, either created or happened really. But the main point is Jesus' self-revelation. And that's a part of faith.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you get? Yeah.
Yes.
We hear this today where somebody will deliver a message and say, look, this is the information I'm presenting you. But don't take my word for it. Go check it for yourself. The truth is the truth. Don't depend on my word. Just go seek the truth yourself.
Yeah, witness directly.
It's actually weird. It's not a statement of doubt. It's actually a statement of confidence.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you is the truth, but go find the truth for yourself. You're going to find that. Don't just take my word for it. Know for yourself that it's true.
And the answer given to all is don't judge for what I'm saying, judge for what I'm doing.
Yeah, that is, that's a witnessing part. Jesus is asked now, at least in the circumstance by which Jesus is witnessing himself that I am the Messiah. I am doing the work of the Messiah. So you see and believe through your own eyes. And that is related in John's Gospel, that Samaritan woman. See, the same circumstance we can see. Samaritan woman. So, after finding Jesus, the Messiah, she goes to where? To her own town and tell the people. And that the people come and invite Jesus to stay with them. And after that, there is a beautiful sentence. What is that? Now we are believing not because you said, but we come to know that you are the Messiah. Very clear. We are not believing now, not because you say, but we come to know clearly through our own faith, through our own sight, that you are the Messiah. So that's the same thing.
Yeah, you come to know this for yourself.
Yes, sir. So, and I think, so these things are, always, that's a witnessing part of, Jesus. Personal witness. Okay. And Mary, Elizabeth, and then there is, that part is beautifully taken for it is from this part. Mostly the Hail Mary is composed, no? Hail Mary, full of grace. That is the greeting of Elizabeth. You are, and blessed are you among women, and blessed are you the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. So that beautiful prayer is taken from the greetings of Elizabeth, and this is the Lord's mother. See, from there is the tradition, Catholic tradition, that Mother of God is taken. And here is a real problem, the Lord's mother, how it could be interpreted.
It is my Lord's mother.
So it's real, unless you have an understanding, clear understanding, that is because reason cannot give you that kind of faith. If you want to take it by reason, intelligence.
Right there, she was touched by the Holy Spirit, the same
Yeah.
thing as John.
That's all right, okay, but by even if all those things are there, how can I call Mary the Mother of God?
Well, having grown up in the Protestant tradition, that was
Most important, difficult thing.
important. But in considering of all the mothers in the world that have been and will be, she was the one that's chosen. So she's the one chosen by God. She is the mother of God. The mother, the of is in a different context. It was one way of looking at it. She is the mother chosen by God to be the means by which He incarnates.
See, in the tradition of the church, its interpretation is mostly, for example, that part that is we have seen. So, this is it's already. We can, yeah. You don't have it? That means they don't want. Erase it.
No, it's up there on top. No, it's over there. On top.
Oh, yes. So, what I am going to say is, I don't know whether it is going to be understood by everyone. That's a very tough theological thing. One of the most difficult thing what I am going to speak. That's not a really, it's not the, of course, it's biblical, but what I'm going to say is not from the Bible now, but it's a theological thing. Theology. Please, if you don't understand it, leave it.
Don't become a Lutheran tomorrow.
Not that. Why? I told you 431, there was the Council of Ephesus, no? Council of
O-U-N.
Ephesus, in which Mary was, and about Mary's, I told you 4 major or 4 dogmas proclaimed. This was the first one, Mother of God. So it is a very interesting development how it was defined. The Patriarch of Constantinople called Nestorius. He began to teach this way. So just before coming to, just to make, just to recall, something about the nature of Jesus' personality. Jesus' personality. According to theologically, when we think, Jesus is considered to be a man and God, no? One person, 2 natures.
100% each.
Yeah. So, Jesus is one person, okay? One person. But 2 natures. Divine and human. And divine is 100%, human is 100%. And both of them together, 100%. Okay? How? Mystery. We don't know, because can we say Jesus was 200%, where doesn't have anything 200%? If you say 200%, can we say, then there is a problem too.
Well, no, that makes sense because He's 100% the Christ.
Yeah, He is 100% Christ and 100% man. Okay? So this is Jesus, divine and human. Both of them are totally 100%. That means divinely 100% and humanly 100%. Both of them together making 100%. And this is our teaching. Okay? Here why it is. When Jesus, this was Logos, no? In the John's Gospel we read, the Word became man, no? And this was God, God's own Logos. So he became man. So Nestorius began to teach when Logos became man, he assumed a human nature. Assumed human nature. Okay? So he remained 100% divine, sure. And he assumed 100% human. That means he is 200%. Okay? And in Jesus, so in Jesus, what is his idea was, there are two persons and two natures, because philosophically speaking, if you have Jesus is divine and human, every nature presupposes a person. So Jesus is a divine. If he has a divine nature, it presupposes he is a divine person. And if he is a human, he has human nature, that presupposes his human person. That's why I said 200%. So Jesus is divine 100%, person and nature, and human person and nature. So in Jesus, Nestorius said there are two persons and two natures. Okay? That is, according to our understanding, we cannot say Catholic one, it's the total the Christian understanding that it was wrong. It was not that. Nestorius began to interpret it this way, and this is very what's called reasonable philosophically, because if you claim that Jesus has a divine nature, he has a divine person, and human nature, human person, that is very philosophically it is acceptable. The other way not, it's not easy to take it. That's why philosophically. And now here comes. Now this problem is now attributed to Mary. This Christological problem is now affected Mary's relation with Jesus. Did you get something? I don't know. So, if Jesus has two persons and two natures, which nature was provided by Mary? Only the human nature was provided by Mary. And there it's logic. And therefore, Mother Mary could be said, titled what? Mother of Jesus. Not Mother of God. Because it is Mary cannot provide the mothership to divine nature or divine person. Cannot. Because he was existing and it was he who created Mary. So cannot give that. So she, what's called contributed this part only. What is? The human nature. Therefore, Mary could be called Mother of Jesus. And this Jesus is, Logos, incarnated Logos. So could be said Christ. Christ means the anointed one. So at the most, he said what? Mary could be called Mother of Christ. And the word used, not Theotokos. Theos means God. Tokos. Not Theotokos, the generator of God, but Christotokos.
Father, when you say Messiah, which is Christ, It's not God.
Yeah.
It's not God.
Our understanding is God.
Yeah, but with the Nestorius.
Nestorius
it's not God.
It's not God.
Okay.
Yeah, it's God, but in one person this dual personality is there. That's a problem. So he said, mother, Mary could be said only mother of Jesus or mother of Christ, not mother of God. And Nestorius was a patriarch, and immediately there was a big problem. He began to teach this theology, and then people became so angry with, all the people considered Mary as mother of God. All used the title mother of God, and people became agitated, and then there was big division in the church, and then called the council of Ephesus, and council determined, all the people, bishops came together, determined Mary should be called, or this one first decided, one person, two natures. One person, two natures, and Mary should be called Mother of God. Now, on what basis this theology based now? Here comes the most difficult. This is only the background. Here comes the next one, comes the theology. So if you don't understand this background, what I'm going to say, the theology, you won't understand at all. This is only a background.
That makes sense because all of us are actually half of our father and half of our mother. So there's two persons in one, okay? But we're all human. Here you have the human side was 100% from one, and the divine side was 100% from the other. This is what made Jesus exceptional compared to us.
You see, if you really learned a little bit of philosophy, what Grant said is very reasonable and very easily attributed to this theology. Because
this is why
what is the
conceptual is
I have a question, Father. So it is 100% divine and 100% human. If you study history, like before, there is this, I don't know, it's not based on religion, but they have the term called demigod, like gods from heaven coming down.
This is because,
I don't know.
the problem is that, that is how humanly, for example, humanly what is easier to understand? What is it? He is 50% divine and 50% human and makes 100%.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was pointing at.
That is very simple. No, that's a very simple logic. Everyone can understand. That's a semigod, a demigod.
Well, let's muddy up the water even with humans.
It's 8 o'clock. Let Father finish so we won't go over the heresy.
No problem. No problem. I have no mass today in the morning.
What I was going to say,
so this is very important. Please, this is heresy. What I am teaching now.
Nestorius got it wrong.
Nestorius, wrong heresy, and that's why in Council of Ephesus determined that it's a heresy, and that is called Nestorianism. Even now there is a portion of the church in the world called Nestorians, holding this theology. Yeah, okay. What is here? Just tell.
we're humans.
So are you really sure? Okay.
What I'm getting at is that, by faith, and not by reasoning, we are also a spirit.
Yeah, here is, what we have, theology is, that is a fundamental understanding. Theology is faith seeking understanding.
Yeah.
So faith, yes, there is faith, and we try to understand it. And so understanding is also a part of it in theology. So not only simply faith. So faith, understanding in a reasonable way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Nestorius is like is just not accepting that in God everything is possible. That's faith.
Yeah, so I'm going to just give a philosophical, just a demonstration, just. No, I'm not going to have philosophy. Oh, that's the thing. Okay, just to give, I'm going to just give into this is a piece of paper now. According to philosophy, this exists. Is this one being or two being?
One being.
It's one being, no? When you cut it, what is it? One being or two being? In itself, this is one being. In itself, it's also another being. So, no?
But it's only 50%.
It's true.
50%.
So can we say this is 50% being? No. It is 100% being. And this is also 100% being. So when they were together, they were only 100% being. When 100% being were cut into two, it's our human understanding, only 50% being and 50% being. No. When it is cut, this is 100% being and this is also 100% being. Is there any?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, therefore.
50% of the size, but it's 100% of the
No, that's the divine part. For us, our mother and father, 50%, 50%, we are one.
Yeah, here, yeah.
We don't have that part.
What I'm going to say this one. So, see, when in the birth of a child, when that part of, the both part of chromosomes, the both part of the egg and sperm come together, is as the sperm itself is a being. Is? Yes.
Well, it only has half the chromosomes.
No.
We cannot say whether
Class 1 plus 1 equals 1.
whether it is the half of the chromosome, but is that sperm one sperm total one being? Yes.
It's no father.
There doesn't exist a half being. A being, if it exists, it is a being total. Cannot exist a half being. Yes. And an egg. Yes, it's a being. But when they join together, it becomes another being, one being. No? So that it's not, 1 plus 1, 2. No, it's 1 plus 1 joined together 1, making 1. But it is not just like, for example, that's why importance of philosophy. It is not just like, for example, when I take this piece of paper, this is that its dimensions. When it is cut into two, the dimensions are half now. The dimensions are half. Only being is complete in both, but dimensions are half. Only, for example, that's why.
Paper towel or a half paper?
A paper towel of this dimension, and that's why of this dimension important. So a paper towel could be the smaller one, and there is a paper towel. When it could be bigger one, that's also a paper towel. For example, if you cut into two and make it, beautifully, then it's a paper towel in its own full sense. Only the dimensions are half and half. What I am speaking philosophy. If you understand, you take it. Okay, like that, when Jesus became man, a divine person fully, joined with a human person fully, and it became a divine human being. And that divine human being having all the what's called the natures and prerogatives, what do we call, of characters of divinity and humanity. That's why in Jesus, if you take half, is God half in Jesus? No, He's fully God. Is man half man Jesus? No, it's fully Jesus. See, that's why when Jesus said, Lazarus, come out, he came out. Why? Because that divinity worked in him.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why he could simply, even though he was a man, but he could walk on the water. Or when he said, he was talking in human terms, no? He said, stop the wind. The word is a human word. But because Jesus was divine, it had what? Divine power. Because it was so intimately connected. And one more. Nestorius said, no, there wasn't that connection. That's why it remained two, divine and human. And therefore, this is called in theology, as I'm going to say, is a very difficult word, communicatio idiomatum. Yeah. It's a Latin word. Communicatio idiomatum. That when I tried to teach them in the seminary, and no one understood it until now. Communicatio idiomatum. That means the predication of characters. That means the human characters predicated to divine, and divine characters predicated to human. That's why when Jesus, and this idea is fundamental theology or fundamental to Christian theology in the sense, that's why the human nature is, because Jesus was 100% divine and human, because of that, when Jesus spoke, even though it was a human word, it contained the divine power. That's the same thing. When Jesus did a human act, it was also a divine act, because they were so. That's why when Jesus suffered in human form, it had a divine effect of redemption. Otherwise, when it is separated, what Nestorius said, it was separated, it affects. For example, Jesus suffering, a God cannot suffer. No? God cannot suffer. When Jesus was suffering and dying on the cross, it was predicated to the divine because of his joining together. If the idea was proposed by this idea, Nestorius idea, then Jesus died as human. It has no effect on the divine.
That's why his human resurrected.
That's why
The human was only part.
God cannot resurrect, because he didn't die. Only the human. But it was divine resurrection also. Why? Because they are totally one. That is called communicatio idiomatum. That's why the death of Jesus having the effect of redemption. If that is not accepted, there is no understanding, there is no effect on human race, the divinity or the redemption. Did you get something?
Yes. Yeah. What's the translation again in English? Communicatio.
We don't have exactly a translation, it's used in theology like that. Communicatio idiomatum.
Okay.
Idiomatum. Communication, what is communication of idioms? Latin, it's Latin. It's Latin.
Or ideas, like
Language.
language.
Idiom. Idiomatic, in English too. So, did I explain something? That even though today's class was Bible, but it was theology. Very deep theology. So, anybody can now wish me a travel mercy.